was talking to a friend the other day. Well, I do that sometimes. What a profound thought and insight. I was talking to a friend the other day. I actually do have some of those. But I was talking to a friend and they were like, I don't make that much. You only make $80,000. But there's a certain, but that just got me thinking. I was like, yeah, that's like, it's not a good, how do I say this? There's a certain blend and balance of realizing and not being so down on yourself about things like that. Because $80,000, $100,000, making that in a year is actually very good. And there's a certain, it's not your fault that things are like quadrupled in price, and you know, an average house is $2 million. And it's like, there's a certain point where you gotta not be so hard on yourself and give yourself like some grace, because it's not it's the system. There's a certain, that's what I'm trying to say. There's a certain point where you got to realize and pass the blame where it does deserve to be. The system is backwards. It's not you that's backwards. The system is broken. It's not you that's broken. In a lot of cases, a lot of times you are doing all the right things and you are doing your best, and it's not you. And you don't need to be like so down on yourself all the time because like you can't afford a car, you can't afford a house, you can't afford rent. You looking at the groceries and you're like, holy shit, well, it's like, do I get this bag of groceries or do I like chip away at my credit card a little bit? Yeah, we all have things. There's a certain aspect of course, everything where it's things that we can do better, but like at the end of the day, in this day and age, you got to be like really creative, and you got to just pretty much not play that game. We can't play that game anymore where we're trying to keep up with the Joneses and like belittling ourselves. And also when we're setting our goals and things like that, you got to like keep them realistic and focus on like one step at a time. If you're like me, you've been working since you're 12 years old, like my generation that are, you know, in our 40s and up, especially coming from Alberta. We all been working since we're 12, and then we always incremented our jobs up and got better paying jobs. And there's no way, if you've been working since you're 12 as a 45-year-old and then you've been making $100,000 a year since your 30s, you've handled $1 million in your lifetime. It's gone through your hands. What you did with that money, what everyone does with that money, it went to taxes, it went to credit cards, it went to toys, but you have made $1 million in your life. But I'm saying that to say that it's okay to set small, realistic goals. Like everyone is like, I want to be a multi-millionaire one day. But what happens is your mind can't really believe that. You can say it sounds good to say that. Yeah, I'm going to be a multi-millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. And you wake up in the morning, go to work, and look at your paycheck at the end of 2 weeks, and 30% of it's gone in taxes. There's nothing wrong with, what's wrong with, it sounds silly, but what's wrong with wanting just to be a hundred-aire? A hundred-aire? Is that even a thing? 100-aire or 1,000-aire. So after you've paid your bills, after you've done your due diligence, and you've put your money into the commitments where it needs to be, and you've set you've done all the things you're supposed to do, and you paid yourself first, and your bills are all good. What's wrong with having hundreds of dollars left over? Why do you need to always have thousands and millions left over? Yeah, that would be really nice. A few select few have that. But there's nothing wrong with being like, oh, I want to get to a place in my life where I always have hundreds of dollars. And that's realistic, and your mind can comprehend that. It's like, oh, I have hundreds of dollars left over between paycheck to paycheck. And then you just build on that. And then eventually you have thousands of dollars left over from paycheck to paycheck. What's wrong with that? You don't need to keep going especially in this day and age, what's wrong with having thousands of dollars left over from check to check, and then including you've already done your investing, it's already, all your allocations are set up, then you just keep building on that. You don't need, it's great, but you don't need to have that grandiose goal. Just do great things with the little that you have, and just build on that. I wanted to be, all I knew is I wanted to be, I want to be an actor, and I want to be in movies and TV shows, and I have done that. And the only reason, and I've been in maybe like a handful of different TV shows, small roles, multiple commercials, and I got that. I didn't have this thing on my shoulders where I was like, I need to be the most famous actor. And there's nothing wrong with setting realistic goals. You don't start, I want to be a millionaire. And then first of all, okay, but you need goals within that goal to get there. So how about you start with I want to be able to at least have $100 left over. Okay, cool, I did that. So next check pay time, I want to be able to have $200 left over. And you just keep building up. And then before you know it, you're like, holy shit, I have hundreds of dollars in between checks. But I know life doesn't happen on a spreadsheet like that. Look, there's ups and downs, down on your ups, up on your downs, down on your buck, then up on your luck, then you're up on your luck, then you're down on your bucks. I know, life doesn't happen on a spreadsheet. But I'm just saying, be realistic and stop beating yourself down, and just because you can't afford things that are 10x the price now, which isn't your fault anyways, it's the system around you. So understand that it's the system, it's not you, but then you got to also learn how to play all the games within it. I don't really know what my ending, I'm trying to land the plane here, but I'm just saying it's okay to set the bar lower with your goals. I don't know why people are so scared to do that. Nope. Gotta be a millionaire. Nope. Gotta be the best. The fucking best at the best thing. Just be your personal best. Look at your own self and make yourself a little bit better at a time. And then all of a sudden you will be that thing of what you're trying to achieve or whatever. Right? Because everyone's different. Everyone has different goals. And money is more important than fame, too. Let's be realistic. Would you rather have fame or would you have money? Look how many people go broke, celebrities and athletes and stuff, because they didn't know, they had the fame. Had fame and money, but then didn't know how to manage the money, so then they just, die with nothing, which is crazy. Yeah, anyways, I'm just saying, be realistic for yourself and set yourself realistic goals so that your mind can actually comprehend them. Because if your goals are too grandiose, you're not going to believe it. And then you're going to live life as not believing it. So believe in yourself and shit, alright? Get it done.